Friday, everybody, and welcome into the Buckeye Blitz podcast. I'm your host, Chad Stryker. It's Buckeye Friday, an actual Buckeye Friday. Game weekend is upon us. We're headed to Indiana, to the Hoosier State, to take on those Indiana Hoosiers. You've made it. Buckeye football is here. Congratulations. We made it through the offseason, what was seemingly the longest offseason I can remember in quite some time. So welcome in and thank you for joining. I'm not going to bury the lead here. I wanted to talk immediately about Ryan Day's presser on Tuesday, naming Kyle McCord the starter. However, he did say Devin Brown's going to see some playing time. I hope you understand and hear me when I say this, that I'm not the only one that thinks this, but Devin Brown and Kyle McCord are not all that different. I would say Devin's a little shiftier and maybe a little quicker, and they're just two different kids. They're two different leadership styles. Kyle's a little quieter. Devin's a little more boisterous. But, if you're thinking that Devin is this all-out, true dual-threat quarterback, he's not. The true dual threat quarterback, the guy that you think is the Justin Fields, JT Barrett type, is Lincoln Kienholz. So he's actually truly like the wild card, gunslinger, dual threat, kill you with his legs and kill you with his arm kind of person. Devin is shifty. I'll give you that. He makes people miss. But Kyle and Devin, again, they're far more similar than they are different. So, and I've said this on some other podcasts. So, take that for what it's worth. I don't know what to make of the situation. I thought it was kind of interesting that Ryan Day said Kyle had been a little more consistent over the last couple weeks. And maybe that's what he's looking for. He doesn't want somebody to go on the road to Indiana and take chances and make mistakes and make this game closer than it needs to be. But I would just caution you and tell everybody to relax, take a breath. It's going to be okay. I trust Ryan Day. Look at what he's done with the quarterback position. So I think we're good here. We know who's who and what's what. So just let's just take a beat. Let's enjoy the game. Let's enjoy the weekend and see how things play out over the next couple weeks, too, against YSU and then Western Kentucky. I hope if you're going to those games, I hope to see you there. I'll be at those games and come up and say hi. I was asked multiple times who I'm most excited to see on both sides of the ball. So I'll dive into that a little bit. On offense, it's absolutely about without a doubt, it's Trey Henderson. I am very interested to see Travion Henderson, a healthy Travion Henderson, and or Evan Pryor. I'd like to see what Evan Pryor's role in the offense is going to look like. I feel like we know what we have in Mayan Williams, and we know what we have in Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka, and even Cade Stover. Those guys all returning. We know what we have in them. We know who they are. We know what they can do. We saw glimpses of Evan Pryor in the spring 2 years ago. I'd like to see what he can do. I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see what his role is. Is it the Curtis Samuel role that we like to talk about? And then kind of watch him develop. I'm excited to see him. On defense, I had trouble picking just one, but I'm going to go with Jack Sawyer. Transitioning back to having his hand in the dirt. I want to see what he looks like as a, bigger, stronger, faster defensive end. We saw him as a true freshman some. Last year they put him at the jack and, moved him around a little bit. I want to see him as a true defensive end, how he looks, back with his hand in the dirt. I think he's poised for a big year because if you think about trying to block JTT and then Mike Hall Jr., there's a lot going on that defensive line. I'm excited to see him. What I think the final score will be, I'm going with 45-14 with the defensive score mixed in there somewhere for Ohio State. I'm not going to say who, but I think we get a pick six. Maybe Denzel Burke gets a pick six in this. He's had such a great spring and summer. Indiana still hasn't announced who their starting quarterback is. We think it's Taven Jackson, transfer from Tennessee, but we don't know. He's a redshirt freshman. So let's take a look real quick at what to expect from Indiana. If you don't know, Tom Allen, who is actually a genuinely really nice guy, he's a nice guy, is a great defensive mind. He's a blitz guru. The team has had 23, I think maybe now 25 transfers from the transfer portal this year. If Indiana is going to make this a game, it's going to be because they've, one, are throwing crazy blitzes at a first-time quarterback, and two, Taven Jackson, a transfer quarterback from Tennessee, keeps them in the game if he's starting. He's no slouch. He had Power 5 offers all over the place: Oregon, Illinois, UCLA, Michigan, Auburn, to name a few. He's 6'3", throws it well. I'm wondering why he left UT. It's interesting to me that he did, because I think you're going to only have a Mitchell Melton or not Mitchell Melton, but the quarterback Melton for only 1 year that transferred from Michigan. I'm not really sure why he left, but in this era of the transfer portal, if you're not starting or you don't see a path to starting, kids are taking off. So he's pretty athletic. I took a little bit of his tape on 247. We'll see what comes of it. Cam Camper comes in alongside with senior transfer DeQuise Carter from Fordham. That's who he'll be throwing to. Another name to watch is Josh Henderson. He's a running back. He transferred in from North Carolina, I think, not this year, but last year. Last year, I think he had 90 carries for about 400 yards, give or take. So that's kind of their offensive. Their offensive weapons. There may be some younger guys or some other transfers in there too that I didn't pick up on, but that's kind of where I looked, and what I think. If you're wondering, that's where I see if Indiana's going to make it a game, it's going to be because their quarterback runs around a lot. We seem to have had trouble with that in the past, even against Toledo last year. So matchups I'm looking forward to are Sonny Styles and the D-line against Jackson's mobility. So I'm wondering, how they move Sonny Styles all around, what he does, how he looks, the fluidity with the defense. Obviously Lathan Ransom is a veteran back there, and they have other veteran starters as well. Will it be Jihad Carter? Will it be Cam Martinez? Something I'm interested in seeing as the other third safety, the nickel safety. I'm also paying attention defensively to Miles Jackson at the bowl and Aaron Casey at the will, because Tom Allen does like to blitz. So, for Indiana defensively, I'm kind of okay, I want to see what these guys do. So those would be two names to watch for on defense for Indiana: Miles Jackson, Aaron Casey, and the blitz. For Ohio State, now on offense, I'm looking for one word, cohesiveness on the offensive line. Is that offensive line gelling, and are they cohesive? Are they playing well together? Are they in sync, and not the band? Because I expect Trey and Mayan to have a big day along with Emeka Egbuka on some pop passes. I think Travion Henderson's going to have a great day, and we need him to stay healthy all year. I expect a healthy dose of the running game, and maybe Day won't do that. Maybe he believes Tom Allen thinks like we do, and that we're going to come out and pound the ball. I would say that includes a few quarterback read option runs or design QB runs out of the pistol even. Wouldn't surprise me. I think they'll have at least 4 touchdowns rushing, along with probably 3 carries that go over 25 yards because of Indiana's blitz packages. If they run right into the blitz, they could pop a couple big ones. Overall, I expect Ohio State to pull away in the second half. As always, opening on the road against a Big Ten opponent can be tricky, especially given the last 4 times that we've done it. Meaning we've opened up against a Big Ten opponent. We've trailed at the half the last 4 times. So don't be surprised if it's a little closer than you would like it to be at halftime. I think Ohio State wins, pulling away 45-14, like I mentioned. And it wouldn't surprise me if Indiana gets more than 14 points, maybe late in the game. But again, they're a Power 5 school. You can't sleep on them. They're in the Big Ten, for a reason. So I know they're a basketball school, but you never want to sleep on an opponent. So with that said, that's kind of my game preview for tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready for football. 3:30. Can't get here fast enough, and I am jacked. So let's do this. Let's win. Let's go. One final note, Dominic McKinley, I know that there's kind of been a lot of talk, even on a lot of the other podcasts, about him. I know people had asked Bill Kurelic on Tuesday, and he mentioned they'd probably have to kind of pull one out of the fire on this. So he commits today, September 1st at 3:30 Central. That's 4:30 Eastern. OSU has been in this, but again, um, it's mama and brother, are in Louisiana. He's not from Texas. He's from Louisiana. Ohio State and Texas are in it, among a few others. And it sounds like distance from his mom and his brother, his younger brother, who plays football as well, are impacting his decision. So I don't think they'll pull this one out. A couple weeks ago, if you'd have asked me before I found out what I found out about mom and wanting him to be closer because mom wants to be able to watch him and his brother play football, obviously, I really thought Ohio State had a legitimate shot, especially after the Edric Houston commitment. I really thought that this was the real deal. We were going to pull him out of Louisiana. Now I've kind of reversed course. I think it's going to be Texas. I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again, but it sounds like it's Texas's ball to drop. Regardless of anything else, I'm so glad football's back. I'm beyond ready because of how the Peach Bowl ended. Like I said at the start of the show, it seems like this offseason has taken forever. I've missed football. I'm just ready. I'm amped. I'm ready for some Buckeye football. So you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. Whatever you're doing for the game, be careful. That's going to do it for me on this Buckeye Friday game week. Have a great game day. Have fun. And as always, go Bucks.